I took a loss early on in the session playing off the same VWAPs I do every day, so we're fine with the loss. I was able to stick around and find another trade to make back almost all of those losses on that account, even though it doesn't look that beautiful. But I first want to go over the trade we took at the open. Now, if you're unfamiliar with my strategy, it's pretty much fully VWAP based, playing the pullback. I want to be trading off of these key levels of today. We have plenty of them. The dark blue is previous day's New York VWAP. The blue is today's New York, and the black is the changeover of day, the overnight view. All of this is explained on ASFX TV, where I live stream every single morning. But also, my full strategy is also available on there when you sign up and become a member for free down below. You'll see the bounce plays in here. It looks just like the trades we're taking today. So the reason I'm taking this is the 15-minute open range comes in. You can see buyers try to take control. This news bar pre-market was the CPI. So until that gets taken out, we've spoken about, until that body low gets taken out, buyers could still be trying to maintain control. These could be higher lows trying to lift us up. Now we pull back down, but we respect the overnight view up. At this time of day, it's 9:54. You can see the opening range is now set. So I don't normally trade while it is setting in those first 15 minutes. I want to see how it shakes out. But then buyers take control of the New York VWAP. All right, buyers are back in. The trend has been higher. News is lifting us higher. Let's try to go get back to this structure at these highs, right? Go continue trend. Stop loss outside the range below all of these VWAPs that I have as support. So I at least know, well, if this gets broken, we're moving lower. So I don't want to be a buyer anymore. Those are my favorite trades, long or short. If I get stopped out, and I most likely get information that's going to sway me. But also why I took this, we can take a look at these other three markups so far this year. This was the first trading session of the year. You can see it's coming off of the same VWAP and break of that blue VWAP. Same thing on the left here. It's that 15-minute perspective, just building a higher low. We go to the next day. We're playing off of that overnight view up at the open, break above the blue New York today. Let's go continue trend. All right. It pulls back at the open, but we hold that black overnight view up, break of the blue one. All right, let's go continue trend. Let's go to today's markup. It pulls back, holds the black overnight and previous day's New York. It breaks the blue one. If this were to go higher and continue trend back to these highs on a bullish day, I'd be saying, why weren't you in that? It looks like all those other setups we just looked at. So it's a healthy loss. I can't win all of them. It's not going to be winning 100% of the time, especially when trend looked bullish and we actually moved a lot lower than this. All right, I was wrong. But on those other days, I was right. If I just keep playing this idea, more times than not, I will likely be right. So you got to play the trade. Now, what I take later on in the afternoon, we'll take a look more at this setup of what paints it. This is the trade to make it back. Someone in the Blackshear Club call said, could we go over this trade on the next call? I mean, we can, but this is not your average trade that you see me take. It's not off of a VWAP. It's fighting the VWAP. So you can see at this point, we're above the black and the blue down here. And actually, when you think about it, my long price was back here, right? Pretty much the same price, but way later on, after buyers clearly took back control, which we'll get into in a second. I'm just playing the idea that we may not break for a new high because I'm not actually believing that we could break above this pre-market price here. We failed to break it at the open. Now, if we do here, right, if this gets just steamrolled for a new high, all right, buyers are in. They took quite a detour down here, but they're stepping back in hard now. Also, this move higher here, it's quite a nice, healthy move for sure. Hopefully, you guys will be able to make some money on the longs, but I'm not going to chase that up there for a long. If I'm going to long it today, it's going to come after a pullback. Let's go trade it back higher, right? So I'm almost trading it short, with it being maybe I go long in just a little bit, but I cannot sustain this bullish price action forever. So I'm selling it around the start of like a end of a 15-minute candle. You can see it's like 12:09. That we're kind of just stalling finally, right? It's not just ripping higher minute after minute and really just playing this resistance zone. If this breaks higher, I know I'm wrong. This was a silly short. Buyers are 100% back in. You shouldn't have stepped in front of the train. Thankfully, the train didn't hit me and we moved back down. I scalped it pretty nicely because it moves quick like that. I'm going to get out. I don't need to trade it all the way to this VWAP. So I'm able to make back most of the loss from this earlier long. But like I said back here, when you see it, my long back here, if it would have bounced there, like it eventually bounces from down here, you would have wanted to have been in that trade. So it's a healthy loss. We're still fine on the month, on the week, all that good stuff. First small red day of the month. But we just keep on trucking. Same old setup, same old VWAPs. Just keep riding trend and we'll have favorable odds. Something that was very interesting is let's take a look at the 15-minute today. Very whipsawy, up and down. I was trading NQ. You can see my original long was down here. Couldn't bounce higher. And then the longs carry up, and this is eventually where I do short it back down because you can see yesterday's high, pre-market, resistance, resistance. So that's where my short worked out. But again, not textbook, not beautiful, not something I'm looking to even explain and try to repeat because I don't want you guys to take that setup. But looking at it, why I'm so hesitant on the shorts is just because we made an all-time high on ES at least the previous day. That sellers being in control is very short-lived, right? We get moves down just to be recovered. Move down pre-market, all buyers in the New York session. So I lean more so long, as we probably all should while we're all near these all-time highs. But the reason I like the long earlier makes sense. But I also don't just jump into shorts because it needs to make quite a move to convince me that we're going to be bearish and sustain bearish today, right? How many videos have I said that of? I'll probably miss the first short up of the opportunities because I'm not convinced on them yet, right? There was a good one here when you look back at it where I'm getting stopped out on my long. I'm long off this bounce. Once I get stopped out, pulls back and now retest under that black overnight VWAP, you could probably trade that back down for the next lower low. If at that point you are bearish. I was saying, well, while this is bouncing, this could still find the strength to bounce all the way back up because it's a very bullish trend so far on the week and just relatively recently. So I missed that short because I'm not really even seeing it. And then once it moves lower, there's nothing to do down here. It's not off of any key levels. Now, there was a potential short play around here, right? The pullback finally to New York VWAP, overnight VWAP. Here's the pullback we want to short it back down after convincing us of shorts back here. But I'm not really short. As silly as it is, I'm not really short biased in terms of like short that the trend is just moving us lower. We're right back up into all this chop, making these higher lows. Obviously, it's not clean higher lows. This is no longer a higher low, but we're right back where we've been playing in the pre-market. We're not just sinking for new lows after new lows, right? So if this could have sustained maybe down here, I could be liking shorts. But either way, I think if you take that loss, you take it on the chin because it does eventually come back down. Just not the cleanest of price action. So if you short it there, it's the same price that pays. This price is the one that you want to be shorting it at, but just a little bit later on. Something super interesting. I didn't trade on it, but when you turn it on, let's just go to the regular trading hours and you'll see it condensed. The initial balance, we still hadn't taken it out today, which is pretty rare for ES, or on NQ it did, but ES here, still no breaks of this initial balance. So if we turn that on, it's the first hour of the day. So now it becomes these red lines here. No breaks of it. So the fact that we couldn't have buyers sustain this higher here and break the high, the low wasn't wicked out there. Even on this push back down, still no breaks of this initial balance. If we go over to Edgefield here, you'll see the odds of us not breaking it, only 13 days out of the last year. 5% of the time. And you could even shrink that down on these reports by a weekday, by the size of today's initial balance. It's never favorable, right? We can go to a Tuesday, only one Tuesday out of the last year's worth, 2% of the time. So we're probably going to break out. And we still haven't yet. So you could maybe try to play these shorts over here. This one I have a view up on. I would say any of them, honestly. Once you see sellers take back control, the trade away from New York view up there, there's a nice scalp. Now it doesn't go get that target right then and there, but trading towards it can make you some money. You can wait for this pullback, trade it back down there. Still hasn't gotten the target. So when you see this pullback, break of low a day VWAP, you could be interested in saying, I know it's late in the session and it's pretty damn choppy, but the odds that we don't make a break outside of this initial balance are so low. Let me try to play the shorts with the stop loss at previous structure. Again, I speak about that in Futures 2.0. If you go at current structure, what happens? Just swept out, then the shorts work out. So you want to give that space on the stop loss so you don't get wicked out too soon. And then with that, you trade it back down and it just barely breaks the initial balance, bounces back higher on the day. So it did in fact break it like we knew we probably wanted to. It just took a very, very long time not breaking it until 3:30. So I don't know if anyone actually traded that, but pretty interesting how it does line up with the probabilities of it. So hopefully you guys made money. Hopefully you find lessons in I lost money early, didn't panic, didn't shift my plan. You assess the trade for what it is. Do I like this trade? Am I mad at myself for taking it? No, all the check boxes are there, except for maybe some of the stocks are moving lower, but those could obviously rebound and bring my trade back higher with it. So you can't complain about it. It's a loss. We'll bounce back again tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see you guys on stream. Make sure you also check out the top one sale. My code's still running the best deal. You can copy trade up to 10 accounts right now if you're trading the Ignites, which is one of the cheapest ones that they have. So definitely check that out down below. But I'll see you guys on stream tomorrow morning.